It's time now for a Sioux Falls Real Estate Weekly Update with Brent Baker. I'm still trying to get used to saying that big, long title that I gave this. So Brent said, that seems a little too official, but
I feel like I need to straighten my collar.
I should wear a bow tie and a monocle while we're doing this. But all of that fancy stuff to say that it's the same thing that we've been doing for a while. Each week, we get together, we chat about this. But the reason I wanted to give it a fancy name is because now, in addition to this being a radio show, you're a podcaster now too, Brent. Did you know that?
You know,
next thing you know, you'll be an influencer. You'll be charging people for autographs.
I like the idea. I'm not sure how. I'll have to work on the success ratio of that.
No, you can catch this program in addition to it being on Sunny Radio every Monday morning. Now it's also available all the time at SiouxFallsPodcast.com, and we just try to take a lot of the content that we were putting out for a one thing on the radio just one time. Now it's available when you've got time. So if you just catch the tail end of one of these programs, you can find them all at SiouxFallsPodcast.com. We've had exceptional weather lately. And when I say exceptional, I mean for a while there we had summer, and then we had fall, and then we had winter again, and then we had spring, and then we're kind of back to summer. It's been a very bizarre thing, but when it comes to real estate market, this is officially spring. We are getting to the point where spring will be here shortly, and that changes a lot of stuff in the real estate market, doesn't it?
It does. From a realtor's perspective, spring starts in March.
Yeah.
That's our spring market, and the weather obviously has some impact on that. But people see that, the snow is going away, and in some cases there's lots of bare ground, and they have optimism then.
Yeah.
And that brings out the buyers again.
Some of this is psychology. It just feels like a fresh start. It feels like it's time to make that move. It feels like it's time to do this, time to do that, and it just, it feels like it's time.
Correct. And people are much more, they want to be outside. They have spring fever. It's time to do something. We've been locked up. We didn't want to move in the winter. We couldn't see what we were buying because it was covered in snow. So the renewed optimism. And so there's a reason we see, prices firm up. Yeah. Buyers are, obviously there's more of them in the spring.
If somebody listening has been thinking about selling a house, they're like, I don't need all of this space. I had a whole family here, and now it's just me, or it's just a few of us. We're empty nesters. We don't need all of this extra room. If they've been considering it, this would probably be a really good time to even just sit down and have a conversation with you, because you can show them all of the wonderful things that are coming in the spring, where there are people that are looking for that exact opportunity right now.
Correct. Everybody has to do what's best for their life, and we strongly encourage that. Sometimes it's the timing. Sometimes it's finding the right type of housing. We tend to think of standalone single-family homes, but for some people it's a townhouse or a condo. And even single-family home, maybe it's slab on grade, no basement. Do you need the basement? Do you really want someplace that you're going to start storing stuff that you're never going to look at again?
Have you been in my basement?
Not for a while, John.
It sounds like you've been there.
I've been in a number of basements, and I asked the question, do we need a basement? And if so, why? And what's there? And what are you going to do with it? What value does that bring to your life? For some people, it's what they grew up with, so it's a mental security thing.
Yeah.
But here again, you have to find what's your stage of life? What do you want the next stage to look like?
Yeah.
Are your kids gone? Do you want to travel more? Or do you want a bigger house because you intend to entertain your kids when they come for the holidays? Some people actually want to buy a bigger house.
Okay.
Because now they're grandparents.
Oh, they need
and they want those
everybody.
Grandkids right there.
Yeah.
So,
and whether they're trying to downsize, or if they want to upsize, if they want to change the size of the home that they're in, or if they're saying, I think maybe it's time to not have a home and have something where somebody else does the lawn, somebody does the shoveling, somebody does all that stuff that I don't want to mess with. If they're making that change, that this time of year is a time that kind of happens more often. And is this kind of the busiest time for people to make those changes, or is it more in the summer, more in the fall? When is the busiest time?
I would say that kind of varies from year to year, not to be evasive, but, usually in the spring we see a pretty good uptick. Sometimes it just keeps rolling right through the summer, as we had a few years ago. It did not slow down. And sometimes it comes as people spent the spring and summer getting their house ready to sell.
Yeah.
Or they're all of a sudden they see winter, is 4 months away, and they decide, okay, I can't do this anymore. And, they want just a newer home or, like you said, somebody to remove the snow. So it all depends on their lifestyle, but typically it starts to speed up in the spring.
If somebody listening is saying, I'm ready for that, I'm ready for a change, they want to take that first step, what is the best way for them to connect with you to get the help they need?
You can call or email me. It's 605-310-0297. You can text that as well. The other is Brent Baker at kw.com.
Very nice. Again, Brent Baker, he's a realtor with Keller Williams and Clients First Group in Sioux Falls. You can also find him online at clientsfirstgroup.com.